you watching online. We are gathered here today to celebrate the morning show marriage. When Elle and Ken came to us 3 months ago and said, "We're getting married, and we want our listeners to be there." To which we all kind of looked at everybody and said, "Are you sure?" That's what our boss Jerry Schlegel said. "This is your wedding day. Are you sure you want us to be a part of it, the most important day of your life?" And they both spoke from the heart and said, "Our listeners have been with us on this journey from the beginning, and we want them there to celebrate our special day." And I think we asked, "When are you getting married?" And they said, "December 27th, 2 days after Christmas." And we thought, sure, why not? There's nothing else happening that week which could get in the way, right? Well, fast forward to a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and here we are today to make history as the first DFW morning show radio personalities who work on different radio stations to get married. And more importantly, to join together two special people as one. As Genesis 2:24 says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." When the three of us met in my office on Monday, KB and Elle reminded me I was partly responsible for bringing them together all these years ago. I've known Ken for over 15 years. I was working at another radio station in Dallas, and we were looking for a morning host. Ken was on the air in Lubbock, and in addition to emailing me his resume and air check every day, he would send packages overnight of his show from the previous day. And it just really stood out. And I can honestly say I don't think anybody's been happier to get out of Lubbock than Ken was. And it was a beautiful thing. It's not very often someone makes the leap from Lubbock to DFW, but Ken stood out. And a decade and a half later, it's proved to be one of the best hiring moves I've ever made. So KB remains one of the most talented, hardest working, easy to manage people I've ever known. I first met Elle 8 years ago when we worked at the same radio station in Dallas. I was just always impressed how she believed in herself enough to live in a trailer so that she could try to build her career here in DFW. And one day out of the blue, I remember she came up and asked me, "Hey, what's the secret for being able to make it in major market radio?" I admired her determination, and it was just great to watch her go from someone who was first making commercials to becoming a fill-in radio personality, and then becoming a major market radio personality. And when she became available to come work on the good side of the Wesco Flex, absolutely, I went to our boss Jerry Schlegel and Shane Hollinger, the program director for the ranch, and I said, "This girl is very, very talented." And it's all worked out wonderfully. She started working nights, and I remember 20 minutes after she first went on the air, Jerry called my phone and said, "She sounds incredible." And she just built an instant rapport with the audience that still holds true today. We get asked a lot, "Why doesn't Elle have a partner in the morning?" And it's like, she does have a partner. It's you, the ranch fans. People like Benji and Sue, and all of you call in the morning. You're just truly part of our radio family. The only other thing I want to say is that my prayer for you both is that through the ups and downs of married life, you'll communicate with each other as well as you communicate with our listeners, and to be able to laugh together as much as you make us laugh on the radio. And at this time, the bride and groom both have prepared their own vows as they exchange rings.
Well, I mean, radio people had to talk, right? So every morning, and a lot of you know this, every morning, before we sign on, before we crack that mic, before the on-air light lights up for the first time, and at the point of the show where, even after all these shows and all these years, that the nerves and anxiety are at its peak, right before that top of the hour at 6. That wall that's in between us and our two studios, every morning for the last almost 3 years now, before every show. Confused the heck out of Heather Lee for a while on that. And at first it was our maybe little secret Morse code. And maybe the worst kept secret in the building's history, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, that's how it started, but it pretty quickly changed its meaning. It has personally become my touchstone, my cornerstone, and it reminds me before both you and I go fly through the airwaves, good shows and bad, of what's real and what matters, and though I go by a lot of names perhaps on the air, who I really am, and being the person that I know you see me as. And I will spend the rest of my days being that person that you see me as. Because when the transmitters go dark, and the mics are unplugged, and there is no show left to do, we will have us, just like we do right now. And it reminds me truly, not that what we do on air isn't real, but that you and I, our family, our friends, this is real, that was real. And we do have a lot to thank for this business, but it has never given me anything like the gift that you are. I adore you, unless you never sign off with this ring. And be red. So the next time that you knock on that studio wall, it'll be just a little louder. That hand weighs just a little bit more.
Well, Mark, I'm glad to know he's good to manage. Marriage skipped me. And then I looked around and I just didn't think it was going to be something I got to do. But good things come to those who wait. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then I found you, and I fell in love with you, and I waited some more. And I waited some more. And I waited some more. And here you are, and I'm never letting you go. I looked for one man of God who's as smart as my dad and clever and takes good care of me, who will love my mom and riff with her, who understands my difficult schedule and that my workday starts in the dark and sometimes it ends in the dark, and can trust that it's okay and knows that I'm always coming home to you, whose alarm also goes off at 3:01 in the morning. Not asking for much, just all those things. And here you are. I didn't think you existed. And I can't promise I will always laugh at all of your jokes all the time. But I was raised to be someone who picks up the other end of the log and is supportive, and I just can't wait to be your biggest fan forever, and to always seek to be the woman that God wants me to be in your life. Proverbs 27:17 talks about iron sharpening iron, and you make me my best. You make me want to be better in every single way, and I cannot wait to be your wife. And I promise to love you and to be faithful and to always do my very best to be the best wife that I know how to be. And here's to forever, babe. On the air and off the air. With this ring, I be wed.
DUKB, Ken Buckner, otherwise known as JB, aka Bob, your boyfriend, friend and fiance, take Elle to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, in sickness and in health, in good ratings and in bad, for as long as you both shall live.
I do.
Do you, Elle, take KB to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, in sickness and in health, in good ratings and in bad, for as long as you both shall live.
I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now it is my great honor to pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.